build me a perfect rectangle with an area of 121. Okay, so again, that means build it such that there's a square, there's some rods, and some little singles. Okay, that's what I want you to do. And I'll give you a sec. Okay, remember, area I want to know what times what is going to give me 121. And you might already know the answer, right? That's not the point. The point is I want you to build it. That's what or draw it down. Okay. So, if I were to build the area of 121, I'm probably going to, and you want to do it in the fastest way possible, right? So I'm going to use a big square, or base 10, right? That's going to be 100. So the 10 by 10. So I have 21 more to get to. All right, well, I'm just going to start adding rods. So I'm going to add a rod here. That's going to be 10. Now, last question, I added 10 here. And I ended up with 120. And I had this perfect rectangle. That's the goal, is to have this nice perfect rectangle. The problem is this time, I have this extra little 1 kicking about. I can't add it to this scenario here and still have a perfect rectangle. So you're going to have to jumble up the way that that looks. Okay, so that means that that's not going to work. So this time, instead of adding the rod to here, I'm going to add it down here. Okay, now conveniently, look what fits right here. A little 1. Okay, so now, if I go back now and I try and write down my 2 pieces, I'm going to do them in blue here, my length and width. Well, I could write a 10's rod is going to fit along here nicely. And then also a little single, 1. And then down the other side, I can do it again. I can fit a 10 and a little 1. And then if I wrote what the side lengths were equal to, 10 and 1 is going to make 11. 10 and 1 makes 11. So 11 times 11 is equal to 121. These are the 2 things that I'm interested in. Okay, that's where we're headed. And again, I understand that this is like, I can see where you guys are thinking this is dumb. Okay, but I promise you, if we think along these lines and in something that we find familiar, it will make 100% sense in about 2 minutes. Okay, I want to show it to you in actual like algebra terms. Okay, so as long as there's no questions with that, it's a very, very good start. Remember, the entire concept builds out of this. Area equals length times width. That's important. If I tell you what the area is, you tell me what those 2 pieces are. Okay, that's the point. So, let's come down to here. I'm now going to show you. We're going to change what these things are equal to. Okay, they're no longer, I mean, they're base 10 materials and there's still 100 little squares there, but we're going to change their definition. Okay? We're going to call this here, when I multiply, if I were to find the area in here, you see that? Yeah. If you were to find the area in there, I would have to go, okay, well, the area is equal to length times width. Well, what is length times width on this particular, in this case, square? X multiplied by X. Here, I'll use brackets, because we know what those are. right? That's implying multiplication. I'm taking the side lengths and I'm multiplying them against each other. Well, x times x is x squared. Okay, so that means that this square now are x squareds. Okay, and the same thing's true here if I were to find the area here. Length times width, 1 times x. Well, that's equal to x. So one of these rods now is worth a value of x. And then 1 times 1 is just 1. Okay, so what I have here, if I were to go, I'm just going to change the color just to illustrate something. If I wrote this as an addition statement, if I was adding all three of these things together, we're going to get something that should look familiar from 20 minutes ago. Okay, I have an x squared. That's this piece. And then I'm going to add that to an x and a 1. So I'm going to get y equals x squared plus x plus 1. This looks familiar. You'll recall okay. So now, here's where the real work begins, and we're getting into the quadratic piece of this. Okay, I want you guys to go down, and I've now told you. Okay, and this is where it gets like I'm trying to relate it to the top piece and give it to you. The whole point of the top was to give it to you in a way that meant something to you. And now we can look at this piece here, or this question, and I've given you a new piece of information using the new rules as to what each of these are worth. And you can build me this. Okay, you can just draw it. Okay, and what I want you to do is say, okay, well, the rule is still the exact same. You're building me an area. Area equals length times width. Okay, so I want you to build me this thing such that you get this as a perfect rectangle. Okay, using the rules above. So, with that in mind, I want you to look at this. Build me a perfect rectangle with 1 square, 5 rods, and 6 little singles. These were x squareds, this was x, and this is a 1. Okay? So just build it. You're going to start with the big one and then try and fill in the rest. Okay, so let's do that. Start with the big one. Big square. That's x squared. Okay, we only need 1 of those because it's telling me I only need 1. Now I need 5 rods. Well, if I tried to do, I'm just going to give you a precursor here. These are easier. I like actually building these things because it's a lot better than drawing them. Okay. Doing this is not going to work for you. There's my 5 rods, x, 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 x. You need to create a perfect rectangle. Remember, these things are 10 long. So when I go to try and fill in 6 singles, you're going to leave yourself with a blank little void here on the bottom. There's going to be nothing there, and you're going to have 6 little singles up here, right? It's not going to work, which means you're going to have to shuffle this the way that it looks in order to create a perfect rectangle. Okay, so let's just do that then. Right? What if I took 2 of these rods and I slotted them in down here? Well, conveniently now, I can put 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. This is now a perfect rectangle. Okay. What are the dimensions of this particular rectangle is the next question. Okay, and that's what we're going to look at right here when we scroll down. Okay, so after you've built that, okay, what I'll do is I'll just fill this in right here just because I think it's better just for me to fill this in at this point, okay? And underneath here, you'll have a little bit more solution, okay? So the goal here, you know what the area is. It's x squared plus 5x plus 6. I need you to tell me this piece multiplied against another piece. Okay? What are those two pieces? They are the side lengths to this triangle, or rectangle, sorry. Okay, so how do I find those? Well, I would, if we were at school with the actual blocks, you'd put a rod here. Okay, it's an X, and then 3 singles fit. So 1, 1, 1. And then you could do the same thing down the other side. An X and 2 1s. And then if I were to take a step back, one more step back, and I say, okay, well, how do I write this piece here? Well, it's X plus 3. And down this side, we're going to get X plus 2. Okay, those are your two pieces. So if we scroll down, I'll leave that up there for a second in case I need to copy. Okay, if we scroll down, you guys will see this in the note. You'll see the actual tiles built there. Okay, and we found when I multiply x times x, we found that we got an x squared. X times 1 rod is going to be 1 rod, an x, and then another x, or 2 x's. Okay, you just keep going, and you see the statement where this was like 120. Let's say it's 100 and remember from above, we'll say it's 121 is equal to. Well, here's one piece here, 11 times 11. It's the exact same thing. We've just changed our definition of what the area is and what the side lengths look like. If you guys can do this, I promise you're on the right track, okay? And it's going to make your life so much easier to have this understanding of the area model, okay? When we start moving on further and further through this note, okay? And although this seems very, very trivial, okay, and I agree, is there a better way to do that? Yeah, probably. Faster, I was going to say better. Faster way to do that? Yes. Does it provide the same level of understanding when we come to something like this? Not even close. Okay. We do this so that you guys can understand what it is that we're going to try and do with something like this, a little bit more difficult, right? And actually meaningful. Okay. Maybe have any questions? That's where we're going to stop. Okay. If you have any questions, you put them in the chat. Okay, if you don't have any questions, okay, I'll tell you now. I'm not going to be here from 12 till probably 1:15. Okay, so but Miss Ash will be. Okay, so if you have any questions, that's the answer, Ethan. The answer is this. Okay, x plus 2.
Is there going to be a test today?
Yeah, at 1 o'clock.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay, so you have all day. and I made it till 5 o'clock. Okay, so you have until 5 o'clock to do it. Okay, I'll open it up. It'll open up at 1. Okay, so you can come with Miss Ash from 12 to 1:15 or whatever time I get back, to ask any questions that you have. Okay, get anything sorted.
Wait, so how's the test gonna work?
It's like it's in your Minds Online there. So you just like download a copy of it and then resubmit it like the quizzes. Okay.
All right, bet.
But don't fool yourselves and think that I can't tell who's worked with who, because I can. And if you get the wrong,
that's on me.
if you guys get the wrong answer together, I know who worked with who, and I can see it in your right answers too. Right, the same solutions. Obviously, you're going to work together. I can't. That's going to be what it is, right? But be careful.
No? What? No.
No, but be careful. Make sure that you have the right answer. Otherwise, you're going to get it wrong. All of you. You know.
I don't get it. The total amount is 156, not 121.
Oh, this was just. Oh no, Ethan. This I see what you're saying. Okay. No, this was just. I was just recalling this from earlier. When we did this this question up here, that wasn't that. I was just recalling this when we did this question. So I don't really want you guys thinking of these as. I don't really want you assigning numbers to these anymore. Okay, these are x squareds, and these are rods, and these are numbers. Okay, that's what's important. They're no longer hundreds and tens and ones. Okay, we've changed their values in terms of what's going on, and we've changed them in a way that I have 1x squared, I have 5 x's, I have 6 singles. Build me a rectangle with those, a perfect rectangle, and then read off.
Also, the best.
Yeah. So it's not number. So I see what you're saying though. You're gonna say it's 100 plus 50 plus 6. I don't want you doing this now. Okay, they're. I guess that's what their value is. Okay, but Ethan, like that's not to take away from what you did there, right? You found that it was 13 times 12. What you did with the numbers is what I want you to do with their changed values. You have the answer. Okay, you have an x plus 3, and you have a x plus 2. We've just changed the value. So the work that you've done, Ethan, it seems like you have an understanding. You've just got to change your definitions. They're no longer tens, ones, or 100 tens and ones. They're x squared x's and individual little ones. That's good. That's a good question. Okay. You can see, but what's cool with that, Ethan, it's good that you brought that up. You can see the relationship between 13 times 12 and the numbers that you got here just by changing the definition of what something was worth. I think that's kind of cool. I've never seen that or made that connection, I suppose. Okay. It would be a lot better if you guys could like actually build these things on your desks. It would make sense. Okay, because it's a little bit tricky to draw the pictures so that it works out perfect. But for you to build it on your desk, there's no way that you wouldn't be able to build this thing perfect. You'd notice gaps and things, right, when you went to go build it on your desk. Okay. Any questions? Go do some questions, watch some videos, particularly substitution, okay? There's a question on substitution. You have to know those 5 steps, so go watch a couple videos. Okay, and then you can come see Miss Ash or myself for the rest of the day today. Okay, I'm not going to do another lesson this afternoon. That's enough. You guys just work on the test. Okay. Okay. If that's it, you guys are good to go. Okay. And I'll see you at 1:15.